Okay, they should all be live now. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, all right. Shalom, shalom. You're live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, Isupk, the Biblical Law, Scripture Breakdown class. We're going to get into it tonight. All right, there we go. Everything's up now. Okay, good. Come. So we're going to get into it tonight. Like breaking the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. That invites demons. Hey, shalom, warrior to Shabbat. That invites demons. You understand? A lot of times our people will wonder, why did this happen? How did situations happen like that terrible massacre, that racist terrorist attack that happened on those brothers and sisters in Buffalo, New York, and in Uvalde, Texas? You understand? Like that, those things happen because the protection of the Lord has not been on our people for some very long time. You understand? And it's important that the protection of the Lord be on our people. And in the Isupk, as Commander General Yohana explains and teaches us, we are in the business here of changing our people's minds, of changing minds. We're in the mind changing business. You understand? And there's so many deep layers into the Bible that talking about one or two things, literally everything is connected together. You understand? Everything is connected together, and there's so much information, so much protection, so much wisdom that is contained in these scriptures that we desperately need the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible. You understand? A lot of the thing, one of the most important things that we would not understand as a people because of the Christian church, we would not understand this, that disobeying the Most High causes his wrath or his anger to come down upon us. You understand? The Bible says the wrath of God. You understand? It says something about the wrath of God. All right? The wrath of God comes on the children of disobedience. You understand? It says the wrath of God comes on the children of disobedience. While us as a nation not obeying the Most High, this causes all of the problems, all of those things. We're going to touch on a lot of them tonight. This causes so much anger, so much strife, so much pain, so much unnecessary additional suffering that we've already suffered so much as a people. You understand? And by the Christian church teaching us things that God, by the Christian church more specifically, not teaching us things that God wants us to know, that hurts us a great deal. Like the brothers and sisters that were killed in that Buffalo massacre. You understand? When that white supremacist was able to stalk them and befriend them and hunt them, it comes directly because the Christian church has taught us to be friendly, to seek peace with our oppressor. The Christian church did not teach us what it says in the Bible. The first root of this problem is the Christian church does not teach us who God said our adversary is. Because the church says is not like the Bible is not about race, it's not about race. We have a great disadvantage as a race of people. Of course, we're talking about as a nation, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Not only do we have hundreds of years of slavery as a disadvantage, not only do we have being forced to take the diet, the culture, the religion, the gods of the other nations of people that enslaved us, the Arabs, the Africans, the East Indians. You understand? Our chief oppressor. You understand? We have their Christianity and their Islam and their Rastafarianism. We've been put into a position to look up to another nation of people and their gods and their culture to really give us a guideline and a way that we should live our lives. And God gave us guidelines in how we should live our lives. But because we have followed leaders that the Lord told us that he did not appoint, which is another huge problem. You understand? Our people had leaders put in front of them that did not come from God. Like, we are not like every other nation of people that has good sense enough to know that if everything is falling apart, then it is the fault of the leaders. If you had the same poor leadership that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have, the Asians, the Africans, the Arabs, any other nation of people would have already gotten rid of their leaders. You understand? And gotten new leaders. But because our people and these horrible leaders are tied into our desire to sin against the Most High, that has crippled us to the point where we as a people aren't able to learn from our mistakes. We aren't able to learn from selling drugs and getting decades in prison for 30, 40 years, endless amounts of blacks and Hispanics being mass incarcerated behind drug offenses and drug dealing, and our communities and families falling apart, and our babies and children being born on drugs, and the horrible demons that get put on our people from taking the drugs. We have not learned as a people. You understand? So let's get into the scriptures here. The first thing we need to understand is 1 Peter 5:8 says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the word adversary means enemy. The Lord is saying, be vigilant because your adversary, your enemy, and we must know who our enemy is. If you are black, Hispanic, and first of all, every people, every species, every animal, every bird knows who their enemy is. The zebras know that the crocodile, the lions, the hyenas are their enemy. The zebras know that. The buffalo knows. You understand? The wolf is his enemy. You understand? They know not to trust the crocodiles or the alligators. They know that they're enemies. The fish know not to trust the birds. They know not to trust a hand going in the water. The fish know not to trust that hand. They know not to trust a shark. You understand? They know that. They know to swim away. If you go into the ocean, you'll see, that's why the Bible says every creature loveth his like we went over last week, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth, meaning they mate and deal with each other according to kind. There are different kinds of fish, and all of them belong with their kind. There are different kinds of birds, all of them belong with their kind. They all know and understand that. We are the thing that the Lord created that does not understand this concept. And that's why the Lord had to have Peter write in the New Testament, be sober, because our people are not sober. Right now, we thinking being in America and being able to be a part of America's government has taught us that we should behave like Americans, that you got freedom to do everything, freedom to say what you want, dress how you want, act how you want. And those things do not come from the Most High. Like the damn senator from Rhode Island with her full naked behind shaking it for votes on a damn handstand talking about vote for me in the Senate. Like, we don't belong a part of America's politics. The problems and the damage with our people is bigger than something that a vote can fix. You understand? Is she gonna twerk for a vote? When Biden was running for president, they had a damn campaign with strippers talking about, if you got time to sit in the strip club, you got a time to go register for vote. Shake it, shake it, shake it. You understand? Like, we are not a part of this place. The problems that we have is not something that America is designed to fix. It's not something that the mosque is designed to fix. It's not things that the church is designed to fix. They're not things that the pastors and the preachers and religious leaders and community activists, everybody tries and do things their own way. And they've tried and tried, but things have to be done a certain way in order for them to work for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? The Bible says there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, meaning it seems like this is the right thing to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. This seems right. Go and vote for your leaders. Go and choose who you think would best represent what you want. Well, God is who decides for our leaders. God makes that decision. We don't have that right to choose for ourselves. America, Christianity, democracy, and the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, taught us that we choose our leaders. Choose who's the mayor, choose who's the governor, choose the president. God does not give us the right to choose. You understand? Before we had the right to choose, you understand there is a way. Let's see. Hold on one second. See enough right. Before we had the right, before we started choosing who our leaders were going to be, God had appointed leaders for us. We had judges when we came out of captivity. We came out of captivity, we had judges, and those judges decided all of the matters and issues, what was right, what was wrong, who was to be in charge. All of that was decided by the judges. You understand? We had righteous judgment and men of the Lord that were already in the cities, just like their communities and houses and families that already have fathers. They're already uncles and brothers and cousins there in the community that are supposed to be able to establish the judgment and right from wrong. These were the orders that the Most High set up for how we are supposed to function throughout all our generations. You understand? And by us sinning against the Lord, that's why we're going to finish that. It said, the Lord said, be sober and be vigilant, because your adversary, your enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Who is the enemy that the Lord is talking about? We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. Like, had the Christian preachers taught the brothers and sisters in Buffalo this, instead of years of choir rehearsal, instead of years of intercessory prayer and night watch service and men's choir, women's choir, and church anniversaries and guest speakers and Sunday best, and years and decades of that, that man, that devil killed a bunch of old church ladies. That's exactly who Dylan Roof killed. And the Lord is sad, and it's a terrible thing, but the Lord sending our people a message. And the message that the Lord is sending us, we are not getting, because preachers keep rocking us back to sleep every time the Lord tries to wake us up. And that message is to be sober and vigilant, because we have an adversary, an enemy that is seeking to harm us, to kill us, our unborn babies, our women, our children. That's why they're able to go into the church and find the same church people in the community and then go and destroy them. You understand? This is our enemy. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt, a house of slavery or bondage, a second time with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, meaning our homeland, when we were in the Middle East, when he said this, thou shalt see it no more again. We were not going to see our land again. That is why out of all the people on the earth, we are the only people that do not know where we come from, where you can ask every Chinese man and they will tell you about China. If you find them in Africa, you find them in America, South America, Jamaica, they will tell you about China. You find an Arab, wherever you find an Arab on the planet, they're going to tell you about their land in the Middle East that they come from, or whatever North African country that their people originate or come from. If you find a white man, the French white man is going to tell you about France. You find a German white man in South Africa, he's going to tell you about Germany. You find a white South African, he's going to tell you about his home in the Netherlands. You understand? He's going to tell you. Why is he going to tell you that? Because every creature on the earth knows where they come from. Their identity is built into them. You understand? But there's one that is not sure, that doesn't know. And it is because of this scripture right here. And our enemies are responsible. You must learn what race of people did this to you, to us, to our forefathers. And there ye shall be sold. When we got off of those ships, we landed into a house of bondage, and we were sold to our enemies. The Africans, who are not our people, sold us to Arabs. You understand? They sold us to Europeans, and we got off of those cargo slave ships in North, South, Central America. You understand? We got off those cargo slave ships, and the Gadite brothers of the North American Indians, and brothers from the tribe of Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans, was sold back up to Europe to be slaves. Not as much as was sold to the colonies in North, South, and Central America, but brothers and sisters were sold into slavery. That is how the transatlantic slave trade began, by taking natives from the island of Puerto Rico and from the islands and then bringing them back up to Seville, Spain, after they had decimated the population of the natives so drastically because they were filthy and they didn't wash and they didn't bathe. You understand? All of those things. You understand? It was Trooper, it was sent to you. That email, you should have received that email. You might want to check it again. It was sent to you, brother. All right. Just send it. You understand it? You should have it. Go ahead and check it again. Hold on, bear with me one moment. Yeah. Like, this is what the Lord was saying. Like, we were not supposed to, it said we would not see our homeland again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies. It is important that every Black, Hispanic, and Native American know that the Europeans that came from Spain and Portugal and France and England and all across Europe, that they are the enemies of our people according to God. It's important that we know that. The Christian church is the reason why we do not know this as a people. You understand? We were supposed to know this. Just like, you understand, a mama deer is going to teach her young baby deer to watch out for the wolf, watch out for the fox. They instinctively know something's up with this cat here. I better get these horns ready. You understand? Like, we have to be taught the basic things because we have liars that lead our people. Liars that are in charge of our community that will allow everyone to believe a lie. And while we die and die and die, they will still keep that lie going. Like that lie of integration and Martin Luther King and joining America. That lie is constantly causing our people lives. It's causing the lives of our people constantly. You understand? But we're going to dig deeper into it tonight like we always do. You understand? So that's what the Lord said in Deuteronomy. So when you see 1 Peter 5 and 8, it says your adversary, the devil, the Romans, is the same adversary that's killing brothers at traffic stops. That Roman Empire broke up and became Spain and France and Portugal and England and Britain. All of those places are the same conquistador Jesuits and pilgrims. You understand? Those places, those are the same people that enslaved us. That's why we speak Spanish, French, and English, and Portuguese, and all of these languages, because our adversary forced that culture on us. You understand? So let's get some more. All right. So our topic we getting into, man, is sinning against the Lord invites demons. You understand? Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 2. Give me Proverbs 26 and 2, Urash. Get that.
Proverbs chapter 26, verse 2. As snow in summer and as rain. Sir.
Slaki. Proverbs 26 and 2.
Oh, Slaki. I read verse 1. Slaki. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 2.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Slaki. Go ahead and start at verse 1. Give me verse 1.
Sir. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 1. As snow in summer.
As snow in summer. Who would expect for it to snow during the summer? You understand? A point is being made here. There's a reason. Everything written in the Bible is written for a point. It's not just written just to say something. Even Jesus wept, and things repeated over and over again. The commas, the exclamation points, all of those are there for a reason. As snow in summer. You would not expect to see snow during the summertime because the summer months are known for what? It's known for being hot. It's known for being sunny. The days are longer. The sun is up longer. That's what the summer is known for. All right, so keep going.
And as rain and harvest.
As rain in the harvest. It's time for you to harvest your crops. You're harvesting the crops. You're not doing the harvesting when all the rain is coming. Otherwise, what's going to happen to your crops? Now, Officer Quashar, Trooper Mataza Quora, what's going to happen to your crops if you trying to harvest your crops when it's raining? It's pouring, it's raining. You understand? You trying to get your grapes and your grains and your peaches. It's a damn thunderstorm outside. Raining, your wood chips is all wet, your mud is all. What's going to happen to your crops? I'm going to give it a shot. Anybody know? We want to give it a shot. Y'all type in now. Type in here. I know y'all know. Let's give y'all a minute. I know Anna knows. I know Kushar knows. You understand? All right. Let's get it in here. Let's go ahead. What's going to happen to those crops? There's a season and a time for everything. Just think about the crops you would have. You got your watermelon. Those are crops. So like I said, they will wash out. They'll wash out. All right. You should find that link. If you click that link, go ahead and click that link, Trooper. They will wash out. That's correct. Your crops are going to wash out. You're going to be trying to gather up all your crops, and you're going to be slipping and falling all in the mud and the rain, and the field is wet. That's not when you pick up your crops. If you leave your greens and things down too long, you're not going to get them when it's raining. You understand? There's a time that crops have to be picked, especially they're seasonal. Lots of fruits and vegetables are seasonal. If you leave them in there too long, they have something was known as a rainy season. You understand? You ever heard of April showers bring May flowers? Hey, shalom, brother. April showers bring May flowers. There's a season when it's raining a lot. That's not when you want to be out there trying to pick up your crops. You understand? There's a season when you're tending to your sheep. You don't want to be cutting your sheep's wool off when it's snowing outside. Your sheep going to freeze to death. They're going to need that wool. Like there's a season for everything. That's right, brother. They will wash away. You'll fall and crush them. You're trying to carry the basket in the carts. They slipping. You're dropping stuff. There's a time for everything to be done. There's a certain order to everything to be done as well. All right, so keep going.
So honor is not seemly for a fool.
Honor is not seemly for a fool. Proverbs is a book about wisdom. A lot of things in the Bible to teach us how to be wise. Because we've gotten so far away as a people, because we have attached ourselves to Christianity and the cultures of the other nations of people, the things that are true wisdom in the world come from the Bible. Things that make you wise. If that wasn't the case, the Bible would not be the most translated and the most sold book throughout the entire planet of all times is the Bible. No book even comes close to the sales of the Bible because the true knowledge of how true power in things works, that information is in the Bible. The Jewish man took the Bible and stole the identity of the people of the Bible. No sweat, warrior, don't sweat it. And stole the identity of the people in the Bible. And because they stole the identity of the people in the Bible, they took and based their culture off of the rules that God laid out for the Jews in the Bible. And because of that, they who were not a people made themselves a great empire by pretending to be the people of the Bible, even though they don't fit any of the criteria or match any of the curses or any of the blessings. But that's how real power is attained. We quoting the silly zodiac sign and trying to play with crystals and rub magnets together and praying to the stars and flipping tarot cards and burning sage. That's not how you have power. You build a military. That's how you have power. The white man is in charge because the Lord took our power away for disobeying him. And the devil has power by the sword. That's how he rules the planet with the sword. You understand? That's why if you think you're going to go and get you a gun and go and fight against the devil that God called the devil, you are sadly mistaken. You don't understand. You've been deceived. Like, that's not how God set things up. Hey, shalom, brother. That's not how the Lord set things up. All right? Like, your power, like the Lord did these things to show us that he is the power. Like, we are to rely on him and to obey him, and he would fight our enemies. We were in a position to fight our enemies, and we decided to turn on the Most High, and the Lord took our strength away. All right? So now, go ahead and finish where you're reading at, Urash.
Kind of a con, sir. Verse 2. As the bird by wandering, as the swallow by flying.
Like a bird is just wandering around. You see a bird, that's all birds do. Birds are just wandering around. You go see a pigeon, you see a bird, you see a chicken, you see a turkey, you see a duck. What are they doing? They just wandering around all day, pecking and stuff, scratching and stuff, flipping stuff. They just wandering around. That's what a bird is going to do. You understand? And then keep going.
Got to work on, sir. So the curse, causeless, shall not come.
A curse causeless will not come. There is a cause for a curse. Curses don't just show up for no reason. They don't just come out the blue. They don't just show up. You understand? And that is something that we have to learn. It is true power to understand what is a blessing and what is a curse. That's wisdom. The Chinese were wise enough to understand that if they didn't deal with their drug problem, they could not fix their nation. Our people, because we sin against the Lord, following the examples of politicians who follow the examples of Christian leaders who all follow the example of the white man's dollar bill and his government and their government programs and agencies, that is who leads the Christian church, not God. Even the Christians that believe that they're serving God, if they really have to examine what is being taught in those Christian churches, you will find out that the leaders that you follow do not understand the Bible. If you actually start to ask them questions and say, well, why did it say this? Well, why did God do this? Well, you just got to have faith, baby. You just got to believe. You just got to believe. Well, we can't question God. That's a damn lie. You can question God. The Lord set up men all throughout the Bible for you to go to and ask God questions. That was the exact purpose why the Lord set up prophets in the earth, so that you can question God. But if you used to go into preachers that you recognize as men of God, then in your mind, everyone would think, well, you can't question God. Nobody knows. That's just how life is. And that leads our people to drugs. That leads our people to weed. That leads our people to scatter us everywhere to go and find answers. Well, I used to go to church, and then I realized that the preacher didn't have it all, so I turned to Islam. And then when I learned with Islam, I learned it's the 72 tenets of this, and the Bible is tampered, and Allah, and the mothership back in 82, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Well, I used to think that the Bible was right. And then I learned the ways of the Rasta, and I grow my locks. And then the ganja plant lead me to a higher place for I and I. And the spirits come to know, brother, you're a drug addict. You don't know your identity. You learned about weed and Rastafarianism because the East Indians took over the plantations that the British put you on in slavery, because we didn't obey our God when we were in our homeland. That's how we ended up in slavery, being a Christian, and that's also how you ended up being a Rasta, because you're still in captivity. You're just under a new slave master. You understand? Like, all of these questions, that's why in the Isupk, this is the home of the truth. Black people don't realize that dreadlocks comes from serving a god. That is the worship of the East Indian god Shiva. It comes from India, the Elamites. That is where that ganja plant comes from. Cannabis, ganja, sativa, indica, all of that comes from India. Pakistan, Afghanistan. That's where the poppy fields are, where you get your opioids, the milk of the poppy for your heroin, for your codeine, for your scissor, for your morphine. All of that comes from that area, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. That is where it comes from. One half of the Elamite family decided to worship the gods of the Arabs and be Muslims. That's why India is a separate country from Pakistan, even though they are the exact same race of people. They're the exact same family. They're the exact same nation, but one serves the God of another nation. The other serves the gods of their forefathers. So they made two completely separate countries, because you cannot have any sort of stability if people in your family serve different gods. You cannot have a Christian and a Muslim and a Rasta and a Buddhist and you all try to come together and have a family. It's not going to work. The only people that don't realize that are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That is why all the other race of people either brand whoever does not serve the gods of their forefathers, you are a traitor. You must go live over there. Or you will serve the gods of our forefathers, and this is our way. This is how things are done. That's how it is everywhere. That's how it is with the lions. That's how it is with different birds. That's how it is in Asia, Africa, everywhere. That's how you establish and maintain yourself as a people. We have been so misled by the whores and traitors and prostitutes that are in charge of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that we do not understand the basic principles of life, like race, like nationality, like language. Who is your God? Like, those are the basic principles of life. And that's why the Lord said that you must strive for the truth. Now, at Isupk, we're not recruiting. We're not recruiting for choir boys. You understand? That's not this place. We're not trying to go along to get along. We're not going to agree to disagree. We don't do that in here. The Lord said, strive for the truth unto death. That's why we are not affiliated with anyone. No church, no mosque, no fake Israelite groups, the Black Panthers, Russia, Libya. We're not affiliated with anybody. Nobody. Not their gods, their political parties, their religious beliefs. We're not affiliated with anybody. We only stand with the Most High in Christ. You understand? All right? And it has to be that way because our people tried every other way. We tried going back to Africa with Marcus Garvey. And the problem with that Marcus Garvey movement, for all you Garveyites and all you mothers and fathers in Garvey's nursing brigade, it sounded good. It sounded good. It sounded wonderful. It was a good idea. We need our own nurses and everything. But there's something that you can't dismiss, which is Proverbs 14:12 says, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man. It seemed like the right thing to do to go back to Africa because as far as you know, that's where we came from. Because that's what white men decided to teach us in the 1844. You understand? It's a book called The Black Image in the White Mind. And in 1844, white people decided that they needed to come up with an identity for all of this whole race of people that they have that is being bred on their land, building their empire. They're going to need a damn identity for them. As white people get hundreds of years of riches and power and wealth from insurance money, slave money, cotton money, tobacco money, sugarcane money, all of that money and wealth that they built for hundreds of years that they say is in the past, that built America and got Europe out of all of their debt from their civil wars since the Roman Empire broke up. That's all they did was just have war. That's all they did. If you go watch any of those old shows like the Kingdoms and, the ancient knights of this and that, all they did in Europe was fight. They had no resources. They had little land. They had open fields where they traveled and stole things from each other. They ate pigs and slop, and everyone was sick. They didn't bathe. They spread a bunch of goddamn diseases everywhere that they went because they were filthy. They didn't know how to take care of themselves and their babies. We were in captivity under every nation, and we civilized and taught them you have to bathe regularly. That's how you get rid of a lot of diseases. If he's sick, you should get away from him. He's going to spread disease and kill everybody. If she's bleeding, don't let her touch everything. Put her in a separate place. You should develop medicine. No, medicine is not evil. It's not the devil, Catholic. It's not the devil, Christians. It's not witchcraft. It's medicine. You understand? You put him together and he's about to die. And now that you make this medicine, see, he's not dying anymore. They thought it was witchcraft and magic because their people were dumb. They weren't wise. They're not wise now. They've just been able to steal everything. You understand? And because they've murdered everybody that they've stolen from, and then they take their identity and say, see, I'm the Jewish man now. I'm the South African. I'm King David. That's my people. I'm the Israelis. I'm Israel now. Like everywhere they go, they do this. I'm the Chinese now. I'm Indian now. Like everywhere they go, they do it. They murder, they steal people's identity, and now they have control of all the resources. That's why God calls them the devil that the Bible speaks of. The word devil means deceiver. It's got nothing to do with the place you go when you die, a red man with a pitchfork. You close your eyes in a dark room and you see shadows and, oh, it's the devil. Oh, don't run on the train tracks, or it's a broken mirror, or an umbrella indoors, or it's a black cat. All of that silly slave superstitious nonsense is what is in the blood of our people. It's been passed down, and it's all wrapped up in that Christian plantation white supremacist way of thinking that is Christianity. That's in the mosque if you are black and Hispanic. It's in your Rastafarianism. It's in your Buddhism. Everything about life that we understand life to be comes from Christianity. But you die and you go live in some great place or some terrible place. All of that is Christianity. All races are equal. All of that nonsense is Christianity. All Muslims are equal. All of that nonsense is Christianity. When you go to the actual Middle East, those Arabs all hate each other. They don't join together. They got like 8 different groups of Muslims that are all completely different, just like damn political parties, like the Baptist Church and the Anglican Church and the Protestant Church and the AME Methodists on the greater side of Mount Zion Church. It's all a bunch of damn denominations and gangs. None of them are equal. Nobody believes the same thing. Everyone is fighting for power. It's a bunch of divisions. There's no such thing as all people are together. That's why the Lord said, be ye holy, because I, the Lord, am holy. God said to be separate. You understand? And the Christian church has not taught us what to be separated from, but they've stolen all of the money to take care of the people who believe that the Christian church is who God appointed to teach us. You understand? So let's get some more on that. Finish that scripture that you had one more time, Proverbs 26:2.
Proverbs chapter 26, verse 2. As the bird by wandering, as the swallow by flying, so the curse causeless shall not come.
Without a cause, a curse will not come. Curses don't just show up for no reason. I like horror movies. You understand? I like horror movies. I enjoy seeing Esau run for his life. You understand? It brings a smile to my face. I love it. You understand? And what you will find is that in all of those horror movies, I find it very interesting. At the beginning or the backstory to some movie, you will see some horrible atrocity and abuse that was done to someone that was swept under the rug, and you know, everything is just supposed to go on. You understand? Freddy Krueger was some child molester. And then they killed him and burned him alive. Then they try to act like it never happened. You understand? Come later to find out, they said Freddy Krueger didn't do it. Then they said Freddy Krueger did do it. They already killed him. Now he haunts kids in their dreams. There was a reason for that damn curse to come. Jason drowned in the damn lake. And now he come back from the dead haunting everybody that goes to that damn camp because of that. You understand? Of course, these are just movies, but a curse does not come without a cause. You understand? You go back to it and say this was some ancient widow, and she was so badly mistreated, and they took her family and stole her land, and then next thing you know, she died and cursed the land, and that is why the trees are swallowing up people. and there's monsters in the woods because a bunch of people got murdered here, and it released a bunch of demons in the area, and now demons inhabit the area. A curse does not come without a cause. You understand? It's a whole bunch of silly Christian witchcraft nonsense that comes from people not knowing or understanding the Bible, because people who should not be teaching the Bible have the opportunity to do so in this wicked kingdom. That is a crime. No one is allowed to just pick up the Bible and just teach and start leading. First of all, nobody is supposed to have the Bible. The Bible is our records for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Those letters that you read and that compile and make up the Bible, those are the records of our family of people. This is our family records that the Chinese and the Africans and the white man is reading, talking about our God and our fathers and our land. Ours a possessive pronoun. That's not for those people. They've stolen our records. You understand? And made a culture for themselves based on what they stole from us. You understand? Like, that's a crime. They were not supposed to do that. But the Lord said a curse without a cause will not come. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 now. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 28. And let's go to verse 15. Let's see, 28:15. Let's see what the Lord said.
God, sir.
All right, Trooper Mataza Korah, you understand? Go ahead and give me start at verse Salakia. Let me see. It's so important to understand. Start at verse 1. Start at 28 and 1. You understand? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. First, Salaki, you want to give, you understand, get a Most High a big hand, you understand? Raise it up, new trooper in the state of Virginia, Trooper Mataza Korah, to the Most High in Christ, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. You understand, in Virginia, all right? So now, go ahead and give me 28 in verse 1, warrior.
Khan, I don't want Khan. Y'all can hear me all right?
Khan, you two wild, loud and clear.
Khan, sir. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now, what it's saying there, it said, it shall come to pass, meaning this is a future prophecy. The Lord is laying out how our life would go in the future. You understand? If we turn back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, this is how our life will go in the future. That's the world and the life that we are building and fighting for in the Isupk. Moses was in captivity in Egypt with his brothers. All of our tribes were in captivity in Egypt, and we were coming out of Egypt. These were the rules and instructions that the Lord gave to Moses to tell to the children of Israel, so we could be a nation and stop being people from Goshen, the people that live in North Egypt, or the people in Philly, you understand, or the Egyptian, you understand, the Arab, all kinds of identities we had as a people. This was to get rid of being a Mexican, and El Salvadoran, and Puerto Rican, and Afro-American, and Seminole, and Cherokee. All of those names and titles that we have zero protection from the Most High. There's no protection from racist white men killing brothers and sisters at the border. If you are a Mexican, if you are a Haitian, if you are El Salvadorian, if you are an Afro-American, there's no protection for you at a traffic stop when racist white men with power from the empire, who are trained to go out and murder and take your life and wipe out your family. You understand? We don't have any power protection. But if we turn back and serve the Most High, you as an Issacharite of the tribe of the nation of Israel, now that comes with rules. That comes with a God that protects the children of Issachar. You understand? Because the children of Issachar don't worship Santa Maria. The children of Issachar don't worship Mother's Day and Santa Eulalia and the Virgin Mary, Santa Maria, Madre de Dios. The children of Judah, you understand, are Israelites. They don't worship Mother's Day and Father's Day and 4th of July so they can go outside and have the Lord send some demon to shoot up their community. There's no protection being sinners in the world with the identities. That's why on those flyers that we have the names that we were given in captivity and who God called us. You understand? Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. Gad, the so-called Native Americans. Judah, so-called Afro-Americans. Benjamin, the so-called West Indians. The brothers from Guatemala, you understand, to Panama. The tribe of Zebulon, so-called El Salvadorians. Honduras and Nicaragua, you understand? And Guatemala and Costa Rica and Panama. The children of Asher down in South America, in Brazil and Venezuela, you understand? Down in Peru and Bolivia. Puerto Rico, the children of Ephraim, children of Simeon, Shemaiwan and Dominican Republic. The children of Levi, so-called Haitians, on the other side of the island of Haiti. You understand? Like, we have protection from the Most High when we obey the Lord. We got to get rid of these identities that we hold on to with pride and all of those flags that are built around the culture that our slave masters gave us. It's not built around the culture that our God gave us, which we have to get back to, because that is where our protection is. We don't have protection from our babies getting shot up at elementary school or college. You understand? Or at home, or in the hood, or in the suburbs as Christians and Democrats and Republicans. But as Israelites that serve the Most High, is in the Isupk, obeying the prophet that the Lord set up, which is Commander General Yohana, we will have protection from the God of our fathers. You understand? If we forfeit that old life that we used to live and now live the way that God wants us to live, then the Lord will protect us. You understand? So keep going.
To observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day.
Now, what is the voice of the Lord? What is the voice of the Lord? Because the Christian church tells you whatever you feel in your mind is the voice of the Lord. You close your eyes tight enough, real hard, and you let the music play, and you got to conjure up enough power. They say that's the voice of the Lord. You let Donnie McClurkin sing, and when he's singing and everybody start crying, now you can hear the voice of the Lord. Once the music is playing, you understand? The people who worship Satan say they hear the voice of the Lord. The child molester say he hear God speaking. That's what Eddie Long said. God never told Eddie Long to not molest little boys. God never told the Pope to not molest little boys. God didn't tell Dylan Roof to not murder them in that church after he said in their service. You understand? So what is the voice of the Lord according to the Bible? Read that one more time.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
Exactly. That is the voice of the Lord. Doing God's commandments. When it says to observe, observing is God's high holy days. If you celebrate the 4th of July and you celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day and Christmas and birthdays, you understand, and Thanksgiving, and you vote for your leaders, then you will not do what God said. Hey, shalom, brother in Baltimore, Lord of Christ, brother. All right. You won't celebrate the Passover if you celebrate Easter. If you celebrate Mother's Day, you're not going to celebrate the Passover. Christ said no man can serve two masters. You will not follow and the memorial of Hanukkah, remembering our wars against the Greeks. If you celebrate in the Greeks Christmas, the white man says celebrate Christmas in December, then you are not going to observe our Memorial Day of Hanukkah. You will not observe our memorial of Purim, honoring that sister Esther that put her life on the line when they sought to wipe our entire nation out. You won't care about our heritage. because you will have already sworn yourself to serve another God by serving their holidays. You understand? All right. So keep going.
I won't come.
All right.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations on the earth.
That the Lord thy God, thy is a possessive pronoun. You've heard us say that many, many times over. But this is the voice of God is explaining to you in these laws, statutes, and commandments. These laws are found in the first 5 books of the Bible. They're known as the Torah. You understand? Or Thawarah in the Hebrew, which means the law. You understand? That's where they're found. This is the voice of the Lord. And the voice of the Lord is for you to realize many things. One of the most important things that the voice of the Lord is to teach you is to observe and to do his commandments. That is God saying not to celebrate the gods of another nation of people. It said, finish that, read that last line one more time.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Where?
Above all nations of the earth.
To serve God, you're not really understanding serving God, trying to make all races of people be equal. You talking about we are all God's children. God loves everybody. That is not the voice of the Lord God. That's not the voice of God. The voice of God is to teach you that God wants you to be above all the other races of people. Not equal to, not we all coexisting, we joining together, we are the world. You understand? That's not the voice of God. God said his voice was to make you above all the other races of people. If you a Chinese man, how would you feel about that? These people's God say that he made them above everybody else. If you're an Arab and you find out that the God of the Israelites said that he made them above everybody else, if you're an African or a white man or an East Indian, how do you think they would feel about that? Anybody want to give it a shot? Well, they say, well, that's what God said, That's what we say, right? That's what we say when you a black man being a Muslim, when you a black man being a Christian. Well, you know that they the Jews. That's the white man. The Lord set the white man up. Jesus is white. God is white. Everybody's white. Daniel's white. Isaiah's white. And I'm not. So, that's just how it is. That's what they teach you. That's what we were taught. We weren't taught that it was important to understand that Jesus is black, that God is black and the white man is the devil. We weren't taught that. We weren't taught that the voice of God was to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. We weren't taught that. We were taught the voice of God is whatever the pastor says. Pastors say, God, I was deep in prayer last night, and the Lord laid it on my heart to say, the Lord laid it on every pastor's heart every year that this is going to be your year. Every December the 31st, God told me it's going to be blessed. You're going to have a blessing, so much blessing, everything is blessed. And then the Lord sent COVID in 2020. And everybody found out or should have found out that your pastor is a goddamn lie and should get your money back. You understand? But by then, the boat was already sold. You understand? The yacht was purchased. You understand? That Pastor Vincent Gray or Gerard Gray, whatever the hell Gray's name is, bought his wife a $250,000 Lamborghini because he had sex with another woman. So he went and took the church's money and bought her a new Lamborghini. You understand? In the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. You understand? Creflo asked for a new jet. All right. But that's the voice of God. It's to put us above all the other nations of people. Meaning if you have something telling you that is inside of you, that all people are equal, that everybody's supposed to be equal, that comes from Satan. That's not the voice of God. The voice of God is he made blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans better than every other people that he made on the earth. That's the voice of God. That the culture of all of the other nations is beneath the children of Israel. Eating pork is beneath us. Smoking weed is beneath us. Dreadlocks is beneath us. Shaving our heads and our face is beneath us. Lesbianism is beneath us. Homosexuality is beneath us. That transgendered cross-dressing lifestyle, that is beneath us as a people. Being drug dealers and smoking is beneath us. Christmas is beneath us. You understand? The white man's marriage piece of paper being marriage instead of sex being marriage like God said, that is beneath us. Telling a man that he can only have one wife, that is beneath us. Telling us to worship the sun god and join hands in prayer for all the gods of the nation, that's beneath us, man. Telling us we can go and be Muslims and worship Allah, that is beneath the children of Israel. Church is beneath the children of Israel. Buddha is beneath the children of Israel. Shiva is beneath the children of Israel. Voting for your leaders is beneath our people. Our leaders come from the Most High. You understand? Always has, always will. All of that is beneath us as a people. Anything telling us to participate in the cultures of another nation of people, that is something that's beneath us. That's not the voice of the Lord. That's against the Lord. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If. Every time you read and see that word if, and, or but, you want to emphasize those words. Those are some of the most important words in the entire Bible. If. Jesus said, ye are my friends if ye keep my commandments. He didn't say it wasn't default, meaning there was something that was very conditional that you had to do in order to be a friend or considered a friend by Christ. He said, you are my friends if you keep my commandments. And what were his commandments? The same commandments that the Lord gave. He only increased them. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 3. Blessed thou shalt be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
He said, everywhere we would go, we would be blessed. Blessed in the city, blessed in the field. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body.
The fruit of your body. You understand? When you see those commas, those things, just take a little pause there. Because you understand that got to be broke down. All right? No sweat. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. What is the fruit of thy body? Our children. Our children would be blessed. What does that mean? They would not be sick. You understand? We would not lose our children, man. Our people as a nation, we have a big problem. A lot of our problems do not get discussed. These are curses that our people are under. You understand? There will be none sick, none feeble among us. You understand? We got a lot of curses on our people. And that's why we turn back to the Most High, so that these curses can come off of our people. The Lord have mercy on us, because we as a nation of people are still under these curses. None of us, we're not supposed to lose any children. You understand? Got miscarriages happening. You understand? I found that the miscarriage was so very common amongst sisters. You understand? Black, Hispanic, Native Americans happening all the time. A ton of curses that came because we as a people decided to not obey the Most High. You understand? Things happen. You still got to go forward and keep serving the Most High. Like our children would be blessed. They wouldn't be going to prison. They wouldn't be getting killed as teenagers, dying in the streets, getting filled with STDs, or being molested by the basketball and the football and the Olympic coach. You understand? Or the imam, or Africa Bambaataa, or damn Elijah Muhammad, or Eddie Long, or the Pope. These things would not happen because it would be blessing. The fruit, you understand, of thy body is your children. So keep going.
And the fruit of thy ground.
These are blessings from the Most High. We are supposed to have fruit from our body. America, democracy, and Christianity has taught us that these children, which is the fruit of our body, are not a blessing. Sisters is killing their babies because the Christian church has not been teaching that the fruit of thy body is a blessing from the Lord. Been taught as your body, your choice. You can kill it if you want to. You understand? That's why the Lord says, strive for the truth unto death. Not about being popular in here. The Christian church says what's popular, what's acceptable. They didn't tell us that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood could have never set up shop. They partnered hand in hand to make sure that the gigantic black families where one brother would have 3 and 4 wives and children in different places, brothers was having 14, 15 kids. And they made sure that they partnered with Planned Parenthood and the U.S. government to make black families get smaller and smaller, and then ultimately destroy the family altogether, kick the man out the house, get the government grants and housing and everything, get rid of that man, now put the mom in charge of the family and the kids, then introduce abortion after she get a whole bunch of pregnancies, because there's no longer a man limiting the interaction between everybody in the neighborhood running to have sex with his daughter. That man is gone. It's her body, her choice. She can get loose and free with everybody. And in comes Planned Parenthood to sweep up the mess now that everyone is knocking her up left and right. And then she realized that she didn't have a relationship. She had a good time. But now she's pregnant because God made sex marriage, which is our culture, and you can't undo that. And a part of that proof that sex is marriage is you make a new life. And that's a person. Well, our oppressor came up with a way to get rid of that person so that sex isn't marriage, so that now, instead of that woman being tied to her husband, which is how God made it, she belongs to the empire. She belongs to America. She belongs to her job, her money, her education, her degree, which is exactly what Pharaoh wanted. That's why he told the midwives to kill off our children. That's why Moses ended up being raised in Pharaoh's house, because the Egyptians got an order from Pharaoh to murder all of our babies. Because if you got rid of the men, it was nothing left but women. Women, is, you understand, is free energy for the empire. That's who's your secretaries. That's who put your astronauts in space, your hidden figures, your calculator brains. All of those were sisters, man. All of these inventions in the empire, just think of all of the things, the GPS, the fiber optic cable, so that internet is all over the damn country and all over the world. A sister made that. Her name is Dr. Shirley. What's her name? Dr. Shirley Chisholm, I believe. Was it Shirley Jones? Shirley Chisholm?
Jackson, sir.
Jackson. Dr. Shirley Jackson. She made the caller ID, the fiber optic cable, so many things. A sister made, that's why we got the series called The Form of All Things. A sister made the closed circuit security cameras. You wouldn't have no closed circuit security. Everybody sitting behind a desk watching the screen with 25 cameras. You would not have that without Eve. A sister made that. And all of that genius and ability and skill is to build up our nation. That's supposed to be directed to building up a man that's controlling all of the resources in every city, state, and area where we are, so that the resources don't end up in the hands of some child molesting, lying politician or some damn preacher that just pile it up into a damn building while the city and the community goes to hell. You understand? Like there's a purpose and a reason why the Lord set everything up, and it falls into place. But we had never been taught these things. That's why the Isupk is here, to teach our people the correct way. All right? So keep going.
And the fruit of thy cattle.
The fruit of thy cattle. How many people knew we supposed to have our own cattle? America has a beef shortage. We had our cattle multiplied and stayed pregnant. We got some cattle coming up. Barakatah Yahweh Shah to the Houston camp. You understand? We got cattle in the UPK. One bull knocking up all the oxtail that he can get. You understand? He getting all the oxtail. They all pregnant and delivering. Most High in Christ, man. We obey the Lord. The Lord blessed us. All the sheep that Jacob touched, they multiplied and stayed pregnant. Bigger, healthier, and kept reproducing. All of the ox, all of the bull. That's why Laban didn't want Jacob to leave. He tricked Jacob to work for him for 14 years to get all of that wealth that brother bought him by the Lord blessing and being with Jacob. Well, we obey the Lord and we stayed separate. The Lord would bless us. We would have our own cattle while America ran out. We have our own chicken. We wouldn't have no chicken shortage because the Lord would make sure that our hens and our roosters always stayed fertile. We wouldn't have these problems. Our God would be with us while the heathen who are oppressing us would die and suffer. And that's exactly what happened in Egypt. And that is exactly what's going to happen to America as soon as our people separate and serve the Lord. You understand? All we are doing is retracing our steps back to our ancient way. That's why the Lord said, seek ye the old paths. Ask for the old way, the way that the Lord gave us in times past. That's why. That's why our records are here for our learning. You understand? So keep going.
Kind out of one kind. The increase of thy kind.
The increase of your kind, that's your cattle, your goats, your sheep. That's where you get your clothes, your wool. That's where you get your fur. You get your rope. You get your lamb, your goat. You're trading food all across America. You understand? A lot of the other nations on the planet, they have problems feeding their people. Y'all know that, right? They have a huge problem in Africa getting food. You understand? They have a problem getting food in Africa. They have a problem getting food in India because they prayed to the damn cow. And the cow is 2,000 pounds worth of meat. Well, they cows is kind of malnourished, so their cow is probably 1,000 pounds worth of meat. Because, they busy worshiping the damn cow instead of putting the cow where the grass is so he can get big and fat so they can kill him and eat him, which is our culture. But they want to pray to the damn cow and take a bath in the cow feces, talking about it's from God. You understand? But that's our culture. We're supposed to have our own cattle and our own sheep and our own goats. And if we were a separate nation obeying the Most High, this is a part of our religious and ethnic beliefs that we're supposed to have this. And you can't take this from us because all of this is a part of our beliefs. We're supposed to have our own. But once we became Americans, we forfeited that to let America feed us. You understand? We were supposed to stay and be dealt with as a separate nation of people, just like we were in Egypt. And Jesse Jackson, another Christian preacher and another federal government agent, worked to make us Afro-Americans. And then from Afro-Americans, we became African-Americans. We went from Negro to nigger to colored to black to Afro-Americans to African-Americans. And you understand, the Moorish Americans, every damn thing. Jesse Jackson made black people Americans. Before that, we were not American anything. When he ran for president, you understand? Hey, shalom, brother. All right. Oh, shalom, sis Salaki. All right. He made us Americans. When Jesse Jackson ran for president, that made us Americans. He took $20 million from Planned Parenthood, which is also where we got the abortion clinics that I just finished mentioning about 10 minutes ago. He is the reason why Planned Parenthood is all in the black community. You understand? And when he ran for president, of course, he laughed. He lost horribly. I think he lost to Nixon, you understand, by a landslide. Thought he was going to be the first Negro president of the white man's United States because he loved America, which is why the Lord said you aren't supposed to choose your leaders, because the Lord set up the Isupk in the 60s. Imagine if our people did not turn to Islam, did not turn to the Democratic and Republican Party and the Civil Rights Movement and the Black Panthers. We came to serve the Lord by the hundreds of thousands, and none of us ate pork. We would have never had the crack and heroin epidemic in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, all of those murders, all of the gang wars that spiraled out of control after we sought to do all the hand signs and be the left versus the right and the east versus the red versus the blue. All of that is Greco-Roman culture. The Greek fraternities, the gang signs, that's why all the fraternities is doing all the hand signs and all the gangs is doing the hand signs. That's why they got colors and signs and stand one way and stand this way. Gangs doing the exact same thing. It's Greco-Roman culture worshiping our oppressor. The white man had fraternities we could not go to, so then we turned around and made the black version of those white fraternities and called yourself the Black Greeks. You understand? Which is all about worshiping the white man and trying to have the black version of what the white man wanted. You understand? Like the Lord said, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Proverbs 3:31. The Lord said not to do this. But of course, We following Christian preachers like Reverend Jesse Jackson, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Al Sharpton. We following a bunch of damn Christian preachers. And there were many churches that knew that that was not right. You understand? And there were many that knew that that was not right. But instead of, which is the purpose for the truth, is a force to fight against evil and stand for what God said is right. If you know that something is not right and you are not stopping the evil and the wicked from going forward, then it's useless. You know that a man dressing up like a woman is not right, and them teaching children that's okay is not right, but you don't stand against it. See, you have to have God behind you to stand against it. You can't do it your own way. You have to come into the ISUPK to be trained how to fight against evil God's way. The Black Panthers tried to fight their way, killing police and robbing this and doing this. They tried their way, and the CIA infiltrated them and got everybody set up, and the whole thing became nothing. Now your mama's in it. She got flip-flops and a dress, 20 gallons of tail, and 10 gallons of breasts out there with a rifle talking about she fighting the good fight like a damn fool. They marching for miles trying to threaten the Ku Klux Klan. The leader of the damn group is an FBI agent. One of the brothers shoot the other brother in the damn leg at the movement, thinking it's the enemy is out attacking us. You shoot the man next to you in the thigh with your damn AR-15, marching all through Alabama like a dummy, thinking that that's the proper way to get things done. Because you have not humbled yourself. Our people have not come to ask God what is the right way to do things. You can only get God's way by coming in the ISUPK. You can't be in charge. You can't vote for your leaders. You can't do it your own way. That's not the voice of God. You understand? So let's get some more. Keep going.
Count on one con. And the flocks of thy sheep.
And the flocks of thy sheep. We're supposed to have sheep and cattle and goats. We're supposed to have those things. Because if anybody is wanting clothes and garments and all of that, they're going to come to us. They're going to come to us. We're the ones that's making all the clothes. We're the ones doing all the sewing, making the jeans, making the denim, making the fabric. We got the sheep and the goats. Their goats are dying. Their sheep is dying. The Lord is cursing them for what they did to us, which is what is going to happen to America as soon as we start turning back to serve the Lord more and more. It's being cursed all over. The Lord is forcing separation in this empire along every line possible. Racial lines, education lines, property lines, political lines. You understand? You done went and married some heathen thinking you're going to have a better life. The Lord's going to force every people to go back to their own like he intended from the very beginning. And you're going to get caught in the middle trying to hug the devil and realize that this is not Barbie. This is Emily Rose that you done married. And now you trapped in the house with her. And now the full Satan is able to cut loose on you because the Lord didn't turn the switch. All right. So keep going.
Count on one con. Verse 5. Blessed shall thou be, Salakia. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
The Lord said, blessed shall be thy basket, meaning that's your basket, and thy store. Why does it say thy store? Because black man, you're supposed to have the stores. What stores do we go to now to get all our food? Whose stores are we getting food from now? We're supposed to have fruit of our land. Fruit of your body is your children. That's who's going to run your stores. You got cattle, you got sheep, you got goats. That's your clothes. That's your food. That's your fruit. That's your crops. That's your store. That's your basket. This is what real blessing is. The Christian church taught us that blessings was joining America, being able to salute their flag, wear their uniform, sit in their Democratic and Republican party, be their senators and their mayors and their police chiefs and their officers. That's not what God said success was. That's not what God said a blessing was. You understand? The first Negro to integrate into the white man's leagues to destroy the Negro leagues. So now that the white man will have the black talent and the black people's money, and black people won't have kind anymore. Won't have sheep and flocks and fruits in their own store. It'll all go to the white owners. Like, this is a direct consequence of disobeying the Most High. You understand? So we would have stores. And as we turn back more and more to obey the Most High, we have our stores. That's why we got clothing stores and making incense and soaps and lotion and earrings and butters and jewelry and dresses and all kind of sewing and garments and shirts, glasses and headbands and war scarves and shirts and jewelry. We getting our stores and everything back, and our farms and our crops, all of those things that the Lord, this is what makes you a nation. You understand? Being a drug dealer does not make us a nation. Having your own stores makes you a nation. Now you got your own wealth, your own economy. Grocery store, Commander Journey Hunter said, average grocery store, a decent grocery store pulling in $100,000, what, a week? Companies pay to rent spaces in your grocery store. I learned that working retail. You understand? The manager position years ago. They rent spaces in the store. They're going to pay you to put their products in your store and make sure that you got a delivery supply of their products. They keep going regularly. All you got to do is put in the order with the vendor. You understand? And then that wealth would stay in your community. They would get money from wherever they get it, and they pay it to you, and your store would be blessed. That's how it works. We weren't supposed to go and join them and get in their bed and their military and their damn politics just to do business in their land. We're supposed to be in our own side. And if we had to intersect to do business, that was it. Not pledge allegiance to their flag and give them our damn soul and stand for their national anthem and try to go have sex with their damn daughter with jungle fever like Terrence Howard and Tiger Woods and O.J. Simpson and Young Jeezy and Kanye West. We were not supposed to do that. But if we had a business, if they sold something that we could sell in our stores, you work out a deal, give me your crops, your things to sell in my stores. You understand? That way you are paying me and I get rich off of your business in my store, and that wealth that you give me goes to my community. That's how blessed is our basket. Blessed is our city and our field. Our cities aren't blessed now because the Chinese man is taking all of the money out of the city, because our store is gone, because we've been killing our babies and pledging allegiance to the goddamn flag. That's why our stores and cities are gone. But we had our own stores and cities before we pledged allegiance to the flag and voted Democratic or Republican and marched for justice and all of that old nonsense that still doesn't work 60 years later, still marching for justice, holding signs, getting killed by the police at the traffic stop. It didn't work then. It doesn't work now. You still ain't equal. Cities still in danger. As a matter of fact, it's less black cities now than it was in Martin Luther King's day. Philly was all black. Richmond was all black. We talked to a brother in Richmond that said Franklin, Virginia was a small country town that black people made to be separate from the Ku Klux Klan. And now, decades later, a few generations after integration, the whole black town made for black people to get away from the Ku Klux Klan is all white. You understand? 20, 30 years of crack and heroin after integration, white people doubling back around, going to turn all your homes into condos unless we turn back to the Lord and rebuild our nation. This is how it's done. The Lord is telling us the answers have always been right here. The preacher got everybody singing. You understand? That's why we're not singing in here. We ain't singing no songs. We make music, but we ain't singing songs to the Lord. We ain't singing about the goodness of Jesus. The Lord is a man of war. Babylon is fallen. You understand? That's what we're singing about. We ain't singing to Jesus. All right. So now I want you to take me all of those things there. Give me verse 7. Very important to understand about the Lord being with us. Keep going.
You want verse 7 and 6?
Yeah, give me verse 7.
Count
Skip
on,
to 7.
count. Verse 7, the Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face.
To cause who?
Thine enemies that rise up against thee
Who
to be...
went to church? Hold on 1 second. That's good. Stop right there. The
Okay.
Lord will cause thine enemies. How many years and years of black people going to church, grandmama going to church, auntie going to church, all of the pastor and preacher, deacon, minister, reverend men in our family, how many decades and years? And at any point in time, did they explain to you that God is saying that you have enemies? People, not spirits, not Satan, not the devil under your feet. People are your enemies. The pastor never told us that. Not the preacher, not the guest speaker, not the pastor, not on TV, not the famous one, not the local one, not the one in the country, AME Zion, Methodist, the Pope, the Episcopal. No one said you have enemies. Guess what? White Christians know they got enemies. That's why white Christians have Marines. White Christians have the AR-15. White Christians have 45s and 38s and AK-47s. White Christians make all your gun manufacturers. Your Ruger, your Smith & Wesson, your Gaston Glock, your Ed Browning, your Mikhail Kalashnikov, you understand, your Samuel Colt, your Strom Ruger. Those are white Christians. You understand? They understand that they have enemies. You understand? God is telling blacks and Hispanics in the Bible, you have enemies. Had they been taught that at that Buffalo grocery store, they would not have died that way, by befriending who God has been saying is our enemies since the book of Genesis. God said that this is our enemy. Since Genesis. And the preacher not one point in time ever gave warning from God that we had enemies. God is saying here that I'm going to bless you and you're going to be blessed. And even in your blessing, you still going to have ops. You still going to have people that's against you. Not magical people, not space people, not imaginary people, not demon people, not Satanists on his job. No, real people, human beings, Elamites, Philistines, Jebusites, Girgashites, Hittites, Havites, Argites, Bashanites, Edomites, the children of Amalek, Ammon, and Ammon. All of those are our enemies. All of the other races of people were always our enemies. The preacher don't teach you that. That's important to know. They wouldn't be able to kill you because you wouldn't let them amongst you, just like no one would let crocodiles amongst them. Nobody would let the lion, I'm just a lion, I'm just here. The sheep is not going to just sit by the wolf. They're going to be banned and trying to get away. You understand? Because they know that they have enemies. God didn't make everything to be together. This is a foundational thing to learn, that God said we have enemies. It's all throughout the Bible. You understand? So keep going.
Count on one come. They shall come out against thee one way, and shall flee, Salakia, and flee before these 7 ways.
Now hold on. It's some more in there. I want you to go back and read that verse 7 from the top. There's some more in there. I want you to read it again. Go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face.
To be smitten before thy face. Smitten is an old Quaker English word, but you got to understand what that means. To understand that all of this is a part of God's blessings. Who knows what it means to be smitten before thy face? What is the Lord saying? They're going to be smitten before your face. Who knows what that means? See, you got to get the actual spirit of God is in the Bible. The Bible, God says, lo, I come in the volume of the book. See, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Behold, I change if not. The Lord didn't change. It's the same God in the New Testament. The problem was you'd never been taught the Old Testament to learn about that God. And they lie on Christ so much, we think Christ is some white man just giving out hugs and kisses and grape juice. You understand? What does it mean? What does smitten mean? God said, I'm going to make sure that you watch your enemies get smitten. What does that mean? What did God just say right here? You understand? You got to take the Christianity off of it. What did God say right here? Go ahead, Yarash, break it down to him. What did God just say that was going to be a part of God's blessing by us obeying him? Keep going.
Come on, sir. To pretty like it, pretty much to attack, destroy, or kill.
Yes. So when God says, thine enemies shall be smitten before thee, God is saying, you are going to watch your enemies die. That's what God is saying. Not watch them hug you, not watch them agree to disagree, meaning you are going to watch them. And in your sight, before your face, they're going to be alive, and then something terrible is going to happen, and you are going to be able to watch them die. That's what God said. This is the blessings of the voice of the Lord thy God. This ain't got nothing to do with you've been taught about on all them songs with Kirk Franklin. Donnie Hathaway ain't never told us about this. Kirk Franklin failed to mention this. Creflo Dollar never said nothing about this. This is the God in the Bible. Why does it say that? Because if they don't die for the crimes that they commit against us, then your life doesn't matter. That's why Osama bin Laden had to die. Him dying meant the lives of the white people that he murdered, their lives mattered because he had to die. You understand? That's how real life works. That's how it works. Karen's tears mean more than your life. That woman that lied on Emmett Till, that later said she lied about the whole damn thing, her pretending to be upset meant so much more than Emmett Till's life, that they killed, beat, and murdered that child. Because her being upset about a lie that she made up meant more than his life. Well, the Lord said, as a part of him blessing you and you obeying him, you will get to watch your enemies die. You have to. Because if you don't, when your sons never get any justice after inheriting centuries of slavery, they're going to go and shoot everyone in the neighborhood. You have to get justice. The whole reason this LGBT community and everything is exploding is because none of the child molestation victims ever get any justice. They're supposed to be able to see the preacher, the basketball coach, the uncle, mommy's boyfriend, the older lady doing the babysitting at church, the single woman playing with the little boys and the little girls. They're supposed to see them taken outside of the city, you understand, and hung. You understand? And they're supposed to be able to see that and know that this horrible crime happened to me, and the person that did it died because of it. And that will let everyone else know, well, we can't be molesting kids. Can't do that. This actually has a consequence. The reason why it continues is because the Christian church makes sure there's no consequence for molesting children, because everybody went back to church the next Sunday. When the Bible talks about spiritual wickedness in high places and principalities and powers of darkness and rulers of darkness in high place, that is who it's talking about. The religious leaders and politicians that are in charge of our people that will cover up for evil so that no one can get justice. And because no one gets justice, Whitney Houston has to smoke crack until she overdoses. Prince has to smoke cocaine and crack and take pills until he overdoses and dies. Michael Jackson has to get shot up with heroin until he overdoses. Michael K. Williams has to get shot up with heroin until he overdoses. Juice WRLD has to take pills until he overdoses and dies. Because these problems don't ever get addressed. No one ever gets justice, and there is no force that does what God requires to stop a curse that was sent on our people by disobeying him. It never stops. The Isupk is that force. That's what we're looking for in here. There must be a force to combat evil. Evil doesn't stop on its own. God sent angels to Sodom and Gomorrah, and the Sodomites in the city were going to rape the angels. They didn't ask the angels if they was LGBT friendly. They said, these are new men that we don't know. Now you can send them out so that we can rape them, or we can go in and get them and then do worse to you once we finish. That's what the homosexuals said to the angels in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why the Lord burned the city to dust. Can't find it on a map anymore. That was your LGBTQ haven in the Old Testament. And everything is circling right back around, that always repeats itself, just like the Bible said in Ecclesiasticus, the 3rd chapter, is coming right back around. The spirits don't change. Spirits actually run and control everything in the world. You understand? And the knowledge about how that happens, the Lord reveals his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. That's in Amos chapter 3 and verse 7, if you want. All right? Like that's what the Shalom, brother, Lord in Christ. All right? So now the Lord is saying it is important that you see that your enemies suffer for what they have done. They're going to be smitten before you, and they are going to flee 7 ways. They're going to run for their lives because God will be on your side, and they will be suffering for the crimes that they have committed. That is why Christ is coming back with 200 million of the armies in heaven to make them pay, so that they can be smitten before your eyes. Then you will know, well, I guess that my life does matter as a Mexican. My life does matter as a Puerto Rican, as a Dominican, as a Haitian. I guess the slaves do matter. Now that all of these descendants of the slave masters are finally paying, I guess slavery did matter. I guess it is important. Hundreds of millions of people get murdered and no one pays. Then they tell you to forget about it. Like, that's the Lord is explaining how real life works. We don't believe in real life as a people. We believe in magic and fairy tales and nice sayings and politicians and hopes and wishes and magical stories and naked white babies with wings and 2 fairies and Easter bunnies, and you're going to die and go and live in a sandcastle in heaven with Mama and JJ and Tupac and Ray Charles and Michael Jackson and Jesus. That's a fairy tale. That's not what it says in the Bible. None of that is in the Bible. White people made that up in the Renaissance era. That thing didn't exist before 1300. You understand? They made that up. And this is what our people base our lives on: fairy tales from the other nations of people, lies and vanity that the Lord told us never to follow from the first place. All right? So now, give me verse 9, Bubba Shaw.
Verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee.
God swore that he would make us a people. That mean you don't have a right to go and make yourself something else. You don't have a right to be a man and now try to make yourself a woman, or a woman and try to make yourself a man, or you try to make yourself a Moor or a Democrat or a Republican, or make yourself an American, or make yourself a Canadian, all of these other titles and things, or make yourself an African or an Afro-American. You don't have a right to make yourself something else, because God swore a covenant and he established who we are. We can't change that. That's disrespectful to the Most High. That is why we run into all of these things. So keep going.
If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
Walk in whose ways?
In his ways.
What are the ways of God? It's right there in the same scripture. If what?
If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
Exactly. The commandments of God is his ways. Not eating pork. His dietary law. Not eating crab, shrimp, and lobster. Not being a lesbian or a homosexual. Not having sex with your stepsister or your stepbrother. Not having sex with your father's woman. Not having sex with a woman that already has a man. Not being a woman having sex with more than one man. Not murdering your babies with abortion. You understand? That's against the Lord's ways. Not eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. That's against God. Eating shrimp and clams and mussels and squid and calamari and pig and pork chops and chitlin. That's against God. If you want chops, they're turkey chops. Cows got chops. Get you some beef chops. Cows got ribs. Chicken got ribs. You like necks? You don't have to eat a pig's neck. That's against God. A turkey has a neck. Eat that. Chicken have necks. Turkeys have necks. Cows have necks. Lamb has a neck. A goat has a neck. Eat those. Those are lawful. If you obey what God says, then you can't get murdered at traffic stops by racist police. If you don't eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, God will protect us. If we stop smoking Newports and Black and Milds and backwoods, if we give up weed, God will make sure that when some animal goes to shoot up the elementary school, your children won't get killed in the elementary school. God will make sure that you don't get gunned down in the grocery store if you don't worship another God. If you don't vote for your leaders and celebrate Christmas and 4th of July and Mother's Day and Father's Day, God will protect you when you go to the grocery store. It may not seem important until you end up in the grocery store. Now it's important, and the Lord is not with you, and it's too late. That's why the Lord sent the prophets early to give warning from the Lord in advance, because the prophets say what happens in the future. You know how many years Commander General Yohana Isupk has been telling Black people to stop inviting white people to their events, to stop allowing them, don't bring them into your home, into your families, into your churches, at your grocery store. Stop welcoming them into your world, into your life, inviting them to the cookout. We've been saying that since the 60s. Well, God been saying it since the book of Deuteronomy, since Genesis. God has been telling us this. You understand? These are the ways of God. All right. So keep going.
Verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord.
Called by the name of the Lord is Yasha Allah, a prince with power. That's Israel. That is our name. We are called by the name of the Lord. The Lord put his name on these 12 tribes. Like, we represent the Most High in the earth. Not all people, not all the boys and girls and children of the world. The 12 tribes of Israel, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we represent the God of the Bible. We are his people. No one else. God said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. You understand? That's Amos chapter 3, 1 and 2. Against the whole family which I brought up out of the land of Egypt. The Lord called us his family. We are his chosen people. Jacob is the rod of his inheritance. Behold, Israel is my firstborn. God said this in the Bible. We are his people, nobody else. You understand? Like, this is the Lord explaining to us how he would bless us. You understand? Everybody would know that these are the children of the God of the Bible. And guess what? They all know that we are the children of the God of the Bible. That's how they know to leave China and set up a business in the most dangerous neighborhood. And they'll be fine. And they'll get rich. Millionaires come out of those poverty-infested communities. Millionaires. The Chinese are millionaires. Those beauty supply stores, those corner stores, those carryouts, those liquor stores, the Arab chicken spots, 3 wings fried spots, the steak and cheese spots, they don't eat that in China. Where in the hell does Arabs get chicken wings from? They barely got any food in the Middle East. Where the hell are they getting chicken wings from? In Dubai, Saudi Arabia, in Jordan, in Iraq, and Iran, in Kuwait, in Yemen. They're not eating steak and cheese. They're not eating chicken tenders. You understand? They ain't eating chicken steaks and burgers. You understand? They feeding us our own culture. That's our culture. You understand? And everyone is selling it to us because we have not obeyed the Lord. This is a curse from the Most High. We're going to get into it. You understand? We're going to go a little bit over the time. We got a little bit later start, but we're going to keep going with it. Not too long. All right. So this is what the Lord is saying. Everybody shall know that ye are the children of the Lord. And finish that last part of verse 10.
And they shall be afraid of thee.
No, they're going to love and hug you. They're going to do what?
And they shall be afraid of thee.
They're supposed to be afraid of you because your God is a terrible power. Not that white boy that you're singing to in church. That's why they're not afraid of you. because your God's reputation has been so weakened by the sissies that represent him, prancing up and down in the church in the tambourine. That has misrepresented the God of the Bible. Voting for your leaders has misrepresented the God of the Bible. Not following the prophets, putting politicians in charge, letting women be in charge of the nation. You put your woman in charge, the damn senator of Rhode Island got her full behind out on the beach, upside down in a headstand like she at the goddamn strip club, twerking for votes. You understand? Trying to get tips on the goddamn internet, talking about vote for me. Like, this is against the Lord. Like, the Lord never intended for this to happen. And instead of us having the reputation that we should fear these people, they're like, the woman is naked on the street. I just saw your woman's whole behind on the goddamn internet, dancing for votes. You understand? Like, how would they respect the God of the Bible or these people? You understand? All on BET, half naked or fully naked, getting donations. You understand? In the street shooting and killing each other. Like, this is the side. The Lord said this is how we would get these blessings. All right. This is what they would look like, and the nations would be so afraid of you. They would be terrified. Now, give me verse 15.
One con. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
It says, but. You want to always emphasize if, and, but. Those are some of the most important words in all of the scriptures. You always want to emphasize that. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord. Go ahead and read that again, that 15. Give it to him raw, how the Lord intended. Go ahead, brother.
But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
All of these sweet, wonderful things and blessings, they're going to be afraid of you. You're going to have plenty. Your kids not going to be sick. Your land will be blessed and prosperous. The reputation is going to be known. They won't be able to treat you like some illegal immigrant that they can just beat up and throw in a cage, that they can just tell you to drink out of a toilet bowl because you're Mexican or El Salvadorian, that they can starve you to death and steal all your resources because you're a Haitian, that they could put taxes on you and steal all your fruits and your goods and starve you to death and tell you you can't be on the beach because you're a Puerto Rican or a Jamaican, or steal your oil and your fruit and your land because you're a Brazilian or a Venezuelan or a Peruvian or a Bolivian, or take your neighborhood and flood it with crack and heroin and dope because you are Afro-American. They won't be able to do anything to you. If you obey me, they'll be scared to death of you. They'll be terrified. When we came out of Egypt, the people were so afraid of us, we couldn't walk through their land. We had to take a separate route through the valley of fiery serpents and walk through poisonous snakes. That's where you get that medical symbol, a snake on a pole, for the medical symbol. That was also in the form of all things. I believe that's episode 3 or 4 or something like that. And that medical symbol, man, when Moses had to make the bronze serpent so that everybody who saw it that was bitten by a poisonous snake would live. They wouldn't let us walk through their land because they were deathly terrified, because they saw how the Lord had destroyed the Egyptians because of us. That was our reputation. Didn't we join them, and our reputation became, them the people that twerk for votes. That's them. They shoot and kill each other. We set up businesses in their neighborhood, and then they go shoot and kill each other. They make us rich. Their children all out here in the streets acting a fool. Their women half naked on the streets. You give us some money, we can all have sex with her. You understand? It's whatever. Their kids go missing. Nobody looks for them. Who gives a damn? They all in jail shooting each other. They can't manage themselves. We just come and get what we want from them. And, we going back home to our own, smile at their face. They in our religion, talking about Aki this, whatever. Just get what you can from them and, just tolerate them. That's our reputation now. But we changing that in the UPK. Our reputation is going back to the children of God. You understand? So keep going.
To observe to do all his commandments
Uh-huh.
and his statutes, which
Mhm.
I command thee this day,
All right.
that all these curses shall come upon thee
All
and
these what?
overtake thee. All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
The Lord said these curses would come upon us and overtake us. That's why that Proverbs 26:2 says, a curse without a cause will not come. God said there was a flip side to all of that blessing. He said, if you don't do what I say, then I'm going to curse you. And I'm going to tell you exactly what the curses are going to be. Give me verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
The Lord said the city was going to be cursed. All of that hard work that you did, getting those stores, getting your land together, the city going to be cursed. You're going to build Franklin for black people. And the curses is going to find you in Franklin. When you leave slavery in Richmond and go move to Franklin and build your town, those curses will find you. You leave Norfolk and go move to Portsmouth and Newport News, those curses will find you. You leave Mississippi and where else? South Carolina and Mississippi and Georgia running from racism, and you go up north. Guess what happened when you left Mississippi? Who knows what happened? Black people left Mississippi and South Carolina. Y'all know what happened? We came up north and got stranded following Martin Luther King. It was okay for a little while, and those curses caught up to us. And then crack cocaine and heroin came. You know what happened to those people that left Mississippi? You know where they are now? They're in Chicago. You know what's going on in Chicago, right? They're in Detroit. You know what's going on in Detroit, don't you? They in Memphis, Tennessee. You know what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee, don't you? They moved to Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia, and Harlem, and Smyrna, Delaware, and Kensington, Pennsylvania. You know what's going on up there, don't you? They moved to Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island. And you know what they became? Bloods and Crips and Vice Lords and gangster disciples and drug dealers and murderers and pimps and hoes. These curses followed us. They followed us up there because the Lord said you would be cursed in that city. And read on.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
He said we were in the field, we would be cursed. You leave out that city and you move to the suburbs, you know what you're going to find in the suburbs? That gang problem that was so bad in the city that you moved out the city, guess what's going to be in the suburbs? Brothers in the suburbs that want to be the gangs in the city. You move out the hood, you Hispanic, you move out the hood, we move out to this wonderful, nice neighborhood. Big, spacious, ain't got the little small project housing that you understand you grew up with. We move out the projects to come to these nice, big, spacious apartments in Virginia. Got a deck out front, out back, nice big laundry room, big bathrooms, big kitchen, living room, dining room. Oh, beautiful, nice and spacious. Guess what's in this wonderful community? Playgrounds everywhere, good school system. Guess who's out there in this community? Gangster Killer Bloods, MS-13, Latin Kings, Sureños, Norteños, heads cutting, throats slitting, shooting, dope dealing, pills Percocet, purple haze, gang injunctions, street fights, shootouts, broken glass, loose dogs, all kind of fights, cocaine. You understand? You're not going to escape these problems by moving to the suburbs. You understand? The Lord said, keep going. We let it finish you. The Lord said these curses would overtake us. He said in the city and the field. Uh-huh.
Verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
The basket is going to be cursed because you're going to have things in that basket. We're going to have to put things back now. We're not going to be able to get everything. Some of that medicine we're not going to be able to get. Some of that food that we need, we're not going to be able to get that food anymore. Why won't we be able to get that food? Because that store has failed. It said the store is going to be cursed. The store is so cursed it doesn't exist any damn more. The Chinese man runs the store now. It's so bad that I seen Asians and white women giving haircuts at barbershops. You understand? Barbershops was supposed to be all brothers. That was the Black Country Club. You understand? As Cedric the Entertainer said on Barbershop. I'd seen Chinese women, Chinese man in there with both eyes closed giving haircuts and fades. I said the world had ended. White woman in there, Sally with the ponytail, like a German, like you understand, like a golden retriever in there cutting hairs, doing lineups. Like there's no insulation to our culture because we turned from the Lord. Could you imagine a white woman trying to cut hair in a barbershop? You understand? Like that's crazy. This is a white woman. You walk into the barber shop. Hey, what's going on, Jimmy? Hey, Jim, Rick, what's going on, Big Rick? Man, we was at I was at the show last night. Y'all got new Jordans in here? Y'all selling pit bulls in here? Damn, what you got? The new movie? What you got? Oh, they got the new X-Men playing there. I could take whoever's next. What in the hell is Bambi doing in the barbershop? Rick, man, what the hell is going on? What is this? What's she doing in here? I take whoever's next. Then you look over next to her. You understand? You got some sister with a hat on backwards and a push-up bra. You understand? And a gut like Uncle Jimmy. He's standing there. I take whoever next. What the hell is this? You got lesbians in here giving haircuts now? What the hell is going on? Next door, you got the Chinese man. He running the carry out and cutting hair. Like, damn, it's nothing left for black people. Well, the Lord said these curses would come upon us. You understand? They're not giving haircuts. They're not opening barbershops in Beijing. Taipei don't have barbershops. They're not doing shape-ups and fades. You understand? But they come here and take a culture we made for ourselves because the protection that came around us insulating our culture by being separate, that protection is gone thanks to Martin Luther King. And the only way we get it back is we turn back to the Most High. All right? So keep going.
Hold on. Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
I mean, the children, everybody's sick. Asthma, heart problems, kidney problems, premature, miscarriages. I mean, all kind of problems. The Lord said there would be none sick or feeble among us at all. Everybody's sick. Kids sick, baby sick, mama sick, granddaddy sick, everybody. COVID, cancer, AIDS, meningitis, all kind of stuff. Bad knee, back, foot, gout, stroke, heart attack, kidneys, sugar, diabetes, all kind of stuff. Like the Lord is saying these things came as a curse because we served other gods. You understand? Keep going.
Not on one kind. And the fruit of the land.
The fruit of thy land, our land. What is he talking about? Keep going.
The increase of thy kind.
The kind, K-I-N-E, is talking about your cattle, your ox, your buffalo, your cattle. That's what kind is, K-I-N-E. That's what that's talking about, a cow. Your heifers, your Holsteins, your cattle, you understand, your steak, your oxes, the things that plow your fields, things you get your milk, your cheese, your butter, all of that is kind, K-I-N-E, is talking about cattle, your bovine animals. All right, keep going.
And the flocks of thy sheep.
And the flocks of thy sheep. The curse that got sick. I want y'all to raise y'all hands. Who has cattle or sheep? Raise your hands. Urash, you got any cattle? You got any sheep?
Well, I can do my kids count.
No. You got none? Trooper Bataza Quora, you got any cattle? You got any sheep? You got any?
I got a couple dogs. That's about it.
You got none either? All right. I know you got any? Shakara Gabal, you got any? Y'all got any cattle? Y'all got any sheep? Officer Quashar, you in here? Officer Quashar, young man Jermaine, you got any sheep? You got any cattle? Y'all got any? Oh, you got some. You understand? Y'all got any? I don't have any. That's a curse from the Lord because we're supposed to have some, but we don't have any. You don't have any? Damn, me neither. That's a curse. We're supposed to have sheep. We're supposed to have cattle. The Christian church didn't even tell us we're supposed to have sheep and cattle. Creflo Dollar got, you understand? No, you don't have none either. I'll be damned. Well, it seems like what the Lord told Moses was true, because the Lord said we were supposed to have sheep and cattle and goats, but we don't have them. Well, that's a curse from the Lord. You understand? That's a curse, because we certainly supposed to have them. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Damn if you do and damn if you don't. That is self-explanatory. It's very self-explanatory. I don't need to explain that to nobody. You get the check. The check is enough to cover most of the bills. That check is gone. The second check covers the rest of the bills, most of it. For the majority of our nation, the entire check is gone before you get it. 5 different subtractions. That's if you don't have child support, if you don't have alimony, if you don't have back pay to the courts for your lawyer fees, your legal fees. Listen, white people get a record contract. When have you heard white people complaining about their record contracts? How many white people y'all know complain about their record contracts? A lot. Every black person I know that get any sort of record contracts, every one of them, from Michael Jordan, from Michael Jackson with Sony, from Prince with, I think, Aristotle LaFace, whoever he was signed to the rappers, to the R&B singers, to TLC, to everyone on Bad Boy, all of your rappers now, NBA Youngboy, with Apple Music and Jive and all of these and 300 Entertainment, everybody I know that is black that has a music deal is complaining about they goddamn record contract. But I cannot recall all the white men that complained about. I've never heard Elvis complain about his record contract. I've never heard Dolly Parton complain about her record contract, or Estelle, or Cher. I've never heard them. I've heard everyone black always complaining about their record contract. Why is that? Because the Lord said these curses would follow us everywhere. Everywhere. You understand? I've heard black people complaining about their NFL contracts. I've heard that. I've heard black people complain about their football, their basketball contracts. I can't really think of how many white people complain about their contracts, though. Y'all remember? I heard Cam Newton talk about his contract. I heard Pac-Man Jones talk about his. I heard Allen Iverson talk about, why y'all finding me? Because I don't like to do interviews. Because I got my hair braided. Because I got tattoos. Why y'all harassing me? Because I take a knee. I don't remember hearing the white people complain about how their job at the NFL and NBA was so difficult. Whether they were winning, whether they were losing. Why? Because they are not in captivity. They're not under curses. We are. That's why. You understand? So go ahead, give me verse 20.
Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing.
Who's going to send it?
The Lord.
The Lord is going to send upon us cursing. This is coming from God. Keep going.
Vexation and rebuke.
Yes, vexation. Oh, you're trying to make it. You're trying to figure out a way. I remember Juvenile saying in 400 degrees. Y'all might not remember. Remember 400 degrees, you understand? Juvenile said, hard as a nigga try, I can't do the right thing. He said, only God knows what the future might bring. You understand? He's like, as much as I try, I cannot do the right thing. Like the brother sincerely saying that I'm trying to do the right thing, but nothing works. I try to go here, this doesn't work. I went and get this, they cut my hours. I went and got this, they shut the job down. I sold dope, I got arrested. Somebody robbed me, I had to kill him. Like nothing works. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Like a huge percentage of our nation is living this way. That's why we have to build our nation to relieve our people. The whole purpose for salvation that Christ came and lived his life and taught and raised up disciples for, to continue his work and then died for, and then gave them to continue to work, was for us to build our own nation and society separate from the other nations of people the way that we had it before, to relieve us. The only way that brothers and sisters will get relieved in Central and South America and Mexico and the ghetto and everywhere, and in, you know, Colombia. I mean, brothers and sisters got problems we don't even know about. But we should know about them because they are our nation. That's why the Isupk setting up schools everywhere our people are. You understand? Everywhere our people are. So we can fix our people's problems. You understand? With all kind of food and provision and clothes and, you know, refrigerators and deep freezers and medicine, counseling, giving our people our identity back so we can build our nation, because we have protection from our God as a nation, not as individuals. There's no protection if you're a Muslim. You're on your own. Allah didn't protect them Arabs too well for these last 21 years. The white man been bombing them. I don't think you want to serve that God. You understand? Just from my observation, that didn't work out too well, you know. But like, we got to turn back to our God. All right. So let's see, what number you on now?
So like I said, that's verse 20.
All right. Go ahead. Keep going with verse 20.
And rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do.
Everything you put your hand to do, you understand? The Lord said it is not going to work. You understand? You try to go and you be a Christian, it's not going to work. You're going to end up in jail. A lot of brothers and sisters, you understand? Tons of brothers and sisters that have not committed crimes, they're sending brothers and sisters to jail. Found out in Alabama, they were sending brothers and sisters to jail, fraudulent charges, traffic tickets. Everybody make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, that likes up button. Make sure y'all hit that, all right? The traffic tickets, they sending brothers and sisters to jail. Brother get 15 years in jail for a traffic ticket. Like, we got an enemy that's hunting us. You understand? Khalif Browder, this young brother was arrested on a robbery charge for stealing a book bag. He was coming home from a birthday party, and that landed him 3 or 4 years in Rikers Island, where they beat and tortured this brother until he got out and killed himself shortly after. Like, that happens to so many other brothers all the time. Forced sterilizing sisters in prison. Hispanic sisters in prison in California, you can't get the help and aid. You in Peru, Puerto Rico, they force sterilizing brothers and sisters. They don't know what the hell is doing. They doing illegal hysterectomies on Hispanic sisters in these INS detention centers before they deport them out the country to take away their ability to reproduce, because they absolutely hate our people. And this is why the Lord said he would make our enemies be smitten before them. These are the prayers we're supposed to be praying. Praying for God to love and hug and kiss. That's not what King David prayed for in the Bible. We ain't praying for that. We praying for God to let loose all the plagues. So persecute them with thy tempest. Make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. You understand? As the stubble before the wind, as the fire setteth the mountains on fire. Hurt them. Persecute them. End them. Destroy them. Wipe them out. Because if the Lord does not wipe them out, then they're going to separate sisters from their fathers and their husbands, and then they're going to rip their reproductive ability out of their body and then deport them and tell them to drink out of toilet bowls unless the Lord wipes them out by the thousands. That's the only way it works. There's nothing that you can do to stop that wolf from killing all of your sheep apart from breaking that wolf's neck. Then your sheep will be safe. But you'll have to make a choice. Either you love the wolf or you love your sheep. And if I love my sheep, then I have to put this wolf down for the safety of my sheep. And that's how God in the Bible is. That's how it is. You understand? That's how it is. That's how real life works. That's why the animals that the lion is going to kill, that buffalo has horns. And if that lion is not skilled at killing, those horns are going to go through that lion's jaw and his throat, and he'll never walk again, and he'll die. Because the Lord gave that buffalo the ability to defend itself. And the deer and the ibex and all of the animals, the Lord gave that. Because the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is not like mommy and who we've been taught about. This is how we build a nation. This is how we fix our people. This is the proper spirit of the Lord that he wants us to learn about him. So we will know how we are supposed to be as a people. And this, unlike Christianity and all of the religions and democracy, this does not make our people be criminals. This makes our people stop being criminals. Stop being murderers. Stop being drug dealers. Get off of drugs. Stop joining the other nations of people. This fixes our people because this is the way that God set life up from the very beginning. Every other nation of people is living life the way that they have designed for their people. We are not living life the way that our God designed it for our people. That's the problem, and that's what caused these curses to come. So we're going to get just a little bit more, then we're going to wrap it up. We're a little over the time, like I said, so you understand. So just finish up where you read. All right.
Okay. Until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly.
The Lord said, until thou perish quickly. You understand? How many babies' lives were lost in that Uvalde, Texas, man? Some murderer went in there and killed a bunch of babies, young babies. I mean, what, 10, 11-year-olds? That's a quick time to perish. Babies getting murdered in their womb don't make it out of their mother. That's quick perishing. You don't die no quicker than that. You a fetus in your mother, and then a murderer go up inside of your mother and kill you. You can't die no quicker than that, brother. Like, goddamn. Like, that's what's happening. And why did the Lord say this is happening? Keep going.
Because of the wickedness of thy doings.
Because of the evil that we are doing. That is why these curses have come upon us. That's why these things are happening. It's things that we are doing that cause this curse to happen. Worshiping other gods. What we don't know about worshiping other gods is that the worship of other gods has actions tied to it. It has it attached to it. Like the worship of the God, you understand, the worship of the other gods, it has actions attached to it. Like some of the other nations of people, they worship their gods by getting high. They worship their gods by smoking weed or taking drugs. The Satanists, they get high to worship Satan. The Rastas, they get high to worship their god, which is the Hindu goddess Shiva, which black Rastafarians don't understand. They don't know who they worshiping. But as a part of that, those people end up ruling over you. That's why they made a god for themselves. So now, by you sinning, a heathen who already hates your people is going to oppress your people and rob you to no end. So now you won't have a store. You will allow them to have a store because of us sinning against the Lord. By inviting them into our neighborhood, that is a sin against the Lord. They're not supposed to be there. Now, this doesn't mean you burn down their businesses and drive them out of your neighborhood, but if you don't support them, the business goes away. Like, we have to have a mindset. This is the spirit the Lord wants us to have, and we have to wake up first and realize that we are behind enemy lines. Like, the Lord been trying to teach us this for the longest, and our leaders are constantly trying to teach us the opposite, that this is our home, and we're a part of this place, and this is our flag. And like, that's against the Lord. You understand? So we're going to pick up here right where we are next week. We're going to pick up right from here. All right. And it's Deuteronomy. Like, the consequences, like curses don't come without a cause. So we're going to pick up from this Deuteronomy. Y'all remember 28 and 20. We're going to pick up from here the cause for these curses to come. All right. So we are the Isupk. We start out on 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. If you're not in the Isupk, you are not in the truth. Rule for a new brother and sister. Brothers and sisters coming to the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. Tithes, which is a commandment from the Most High. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives to you, you give to the school, or right to isupk.com. Enter your tithes. Make sure you pay your tithes. You hit the lottery. You get a stimulus check. They give you some prize at work. You get some bonus. You understand? Pay your tithes. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives to you. You're right. isupk.com. Make sure that you are paying your tithes. Don't fool yourself and think that you are in the truth, that you are serving the Most High and not paying your tithes. All of your aunties, uncles, grandmas, everybody giving money to church, and wherever they see fit, they are giving the Lord's money to a thief. The only place to pay tithes is in the ISUPK, to the man that the Lord appointed, which is Commanding General Yohanan. You understand? The only men doing the job to build the nation, which was the orders and instructions that Christ gave and got from the Most High, which is the ISUPK. All right. If a brother or sister has any interest in a particular person, they're to get counsel from the head to speak to a brother or sister. You understand? You contact your camp leader, you get permission, or you be denied. After that, there's a 6-month period in which the brother and sister will court each other and then get permission to marry, or counsel and told not to marry. You understand? All right. Upcoming High Holy Days. We got a couple of events coming up out of town, but the upcoming High Holy Days Department. All right. Upcoming High Holy Days. You got it?
That'll be September 25th, the Feast of Memorial Blowing Trumpets.
September 25th, the Memorial Blowing the Trumpets. Mark it on your calendar. The Memorial Blowing the Trumpets, September the 25th. We got a couple of events coming up. I believe they should be next week in July, that Black Weekend. Got all kind of lectures going on in Chicago, full weekend of events set up. You understand? Should be the following week in July. Got lectures coming up. You understand? You can see all of those on all our ISUPK pages and social medias. All right. And lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper, they're to be in all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. Contact the school in whatever city and state that you are in, and let them know that you want to join the force to fight against all of the evil that you have ever seen, learned about, or come up against in your life that your people face on a day-to-day basis. The ISUPK is that force to fight against all of the evil that is happening to our people. You understand? Contact their school. Let them know that you want to be a trooper in the ISUPK. You want to join the school, get into the fight, get into the work, and fight the good fight of faith. You understand? And serve Christ. All right. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Barakatham to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Athan Ba'ashim Yahushua to the sisters. Shalom. All right. Tune in. Our next class will be Friday, the Hebrew language class, Lashwan Kodash. Check out The Bible is Black, all our series on our ISUPK Virginia page. Check them out on YouTube while you're there. Like, share, subscribe, leave your thumb ups. Check out our series, The Bible is Black, the Child Molestation series, all of those 31 episodes of The Bible is Black, the former of all things, Black and Hispanic inventors and inventions. Right here on the channel, you just click the playlist. It has all of that information, all right? And with that, shalom.